26-year-old, and he was a runner-up last year in the BPA King of Bowling. And the first ball here at Green Hills in week number 10 gets a nice round of applause from the crowd here. A great crowd here at Green Hills, Dave.
That was an excellent shot. Again, you know, most of the participants we see here on BPA King of Bowling are well schooled enough to open the show, even though with a few butterflies to flush the pocket.
Kind of gets all the butterflies out very early. Terry Saccone. Well, then again, there are the unfortunate opens like that.
Actually, that wasn't all that bad of a shot. He did pull the ball to his left, and sitting up in the oil or the dressing in the middle of the lane, it backed off. Just did not have the roll that it needed to get the 5-7 out. Now, to make this, ladies and gentlemen, you take your normal strike shot, you move your feet 3 boards to the left, hit the same target, and you should make it.
Why, sure. Why, certainly.
You know, I said in the open, Dave, that you were one of the best in Cincinnati in your prime. I'm not insinuating, of course, that the prime was over long ago, but...
Okay, okay, well, let's take a look at it here. This is the way you do it. Move your feet 3 boards to the left, slide that 5-pin right into the 7, just clipping it in the back, right there, 7-pin, into the channel. That's it.
Terry Saccone, the 1980 BPA King of Bowling overall in the second frame here in week number 10, and blows a rack every pin into the pit, Dave.
Devastating.
Yeah, Saccone's quite a bowler. He's had 12 sanctioned 300s, too, you know, and he wins the King in 1980 over Princeton Bowl, defeating Rick Pollard that time in a sensational match.
Not all bad.
No. Of course, Princeton Bowl we visited this year, Sam, way back on week number 1. Doesn't seem like it was 10 weeks ago.
Times went right on by.
Tim Sharp. Mixing them up, playing the left wall down around the pit area, Dave.
Would you say Sharp is razor sharp?
I would say that I would compare him to a razor today. He's going to have to be, because competition all the way down the stretch is going to be very difficult.
Here,
watch this, Dave.
Split screen on the play. Tim Sharp going to the pocket, going to go for a wally. Head pin, center your screen, going to the wall. 4 into the 7, a strike. 10 pins in the pit. Every pin doing its job, Tommy.
Well, of course, you need to put them all in the pit, Dave. 26-year-old Tim Sharp from Highland Heights, Kentucky. And Sam didn't quite get all of that one. 2, 4,
No, he didn't
5.
get up. Well, Timmy's a black belt karate owner, you know, too. He ought to chop these pins up a little bit.
Well, let's hope he doesn't chop up anything else.
That's
true. Not right now.
That's
no.
true. Proprietors can't afford if he keeps on chopping up those pins.
Jeez, we've only got a couple of weeks to go, Tom. I'm sorry to see it come to an end.
Tim Sharp working on the spare, 3rd frame, and he has it. And we might also make note, Sam, that a man we're not seeing today, at least on the air, but behind the cameras, is Mr. Dave Newrath, who came in as the alternate with a fabulous, a startling, shall we say, a stellar 737 series?
737, yeah, I thought he was going to make it. Caught the 4-9, killed him.
Feels good to be bowling well again.
Super comfortable.
Look at that.
Saccone with the strike here in the 3rd frame.
It's an excellent way to go. Let's look at Sack burying this ball into the pocket. Excellent extension at the line. That's his forte. The ball revving up solidly into the 1-3. No deflection. Every pin doing its job. Terry Saccone knows what he has to do against Mr. Sharp.
The winner of the Saccone-Sharp match goes on to take on Steve Harthon, a man who has never in the history of the BPA been on the King. And today he will be, and the winner goes on to take George Barlow. And we've seen the 2, 4, 5 twice on the left lane, Dave.
Well, both times Terry is not quite executing as well as I know he can. The 2-4-5 is caused by one of 2 things, either throwing the ball a little too fast and not getting the hook on the back end, or just pulling the ball a little bit into too much of the hold area or oil. But that's the way to make it.
That's right. Sharp and Saccone both convert the 2-4-5 on lane number 5 here at Green Hills Lanes. A lot of characters Sam and I were talking about in these lanes, Dave.
Well, technically they'll be practically even. They both have 67 in the 3rd. And Timmy's up right now, and look like he's going to be throwing some X's from here on.
Both bowlers have the capacity, when dialed in, to shoot some big, big numbers.
6 went belly up in the channel, Dave.
It was lazy.
Lazy 10, right. The Tim Penny's second over at Loveland last year behind D. Hall, both sensational. Just got outscored in the last few frames. Tim was fourth over at Crossgate a few years ago, too.
Well, Tim's been around for quite a while, Sam, and as are most of the bowlers we see here.
Looked like he lost his footing going up to the line, Dave.
Well, you know, Tom, a lot of times the style of ball returns that we're looking at today, excuse me, are a little more difficult for the bowlers to get used to. We're raised in houses with subterranean ball returns, but, you know, this is the way the sport started. And bowlers like Ronnie Weber and Sam Coleman had to compete with this all the time, and they turned out real well. But if you're not used to it, it adds an extra dimension to the game.
And you can see that pillar when his, I guess, right foot kicks up, Dave. As you mentioned, that reminiscent of an older lane.
Yeah, it's, you know, in the greater Cincinnati area, it's a super bowling town, and that's, you know, that's where we're at. And a lot of these smaller family-owned operations are just dotting the greater Cincinnati area. It's super. It gives you a nice, warm feeling. And when you walk in the door here, chances are the people know your first name.
That's true. That's true. Very quaint. Very quaint. Tim Sharp looking for the 7th. Oh, boy. Back-to-back open frames here for Sharp in the 4th and 5th frame. Dave, some cash these bowlers rolling for today. And you get a chance to see them right here. The winner, the king, of course, the $750. And the next 3 prizes not too dusty.
Second place, $375. Third place, $2 1/4. Fourth place, $150, and the 5th in standby position, $80.
Well, that's not too bad. Hey, when your arm was in a cast or when it was under the knife less than, what, 4 months ago, 3 months ago? It's good to have you back, Dave, with a 16-pound ball.
It is. It's. I have to take an opportunity to thank Tom Rowan, who drills all my equipment. Tommy, you've done a super job getting me back this quick. I appreciate it. I really do.
And I trust you will be qualifying or trying to qualify.
This afternoon, we're going to go over to Milford Lanes and take down some numbers.
Speaking of taking down, Saccone takes down the 10-pin, picks up the spare in the 5th frame.
You know, we might add, too, that the 2 single-pin spares, we talk about it from week to week. You cannot miss single-pin spares. And right there, you see 2 of them, Sam.
Yeah, Saccone's got 86 in the 4th with a spare, and Tim Sharp got 84 in the 5th. So technically, that Saccone's up by 22.
Of course, those 2 opens for Sharp. As we see Saccone put down the strike in the 6th frame, those 2 opens for Sharp in the 4th and 5th frame. I guess, Dave, you can't do that and expect to win.
No, it's extremely difficult unless your opponent, Mr. Saccone, for example, would stumble. But I've watched him bowl for enough years to know that is not a very likely possibility.
Tim Sharp, 6th frame. Off those 2 open frames, leaves the heart of the rack, the 5-pin.
Yeah, we're qualifying out at Milford today. Still more shifts. A 4:30 shift is the last one today. And the high, who you think, that left-hander, Bill Heflin, 735. Rick Hensley, 707. And we have a tie for 3rd, Wayne Sherman and Timmy Sharp with 704. And the girls is Debbie Hoskins and Liz Fox with 602 each.
Sharp for the 5 spare, and he's got it. I guess next to you, we could call Bill Heflin the master of the ongoing BPA, right, Sam?
I believe it.
He has that mean hook that only, 25, 26 years of experience will give you, right, Dave?
Bill Heflin is remarkable, but when it comes to Milford Lanes, he is almost a sure bet, because I think out of the last 5 shows that we've done from Milford, I think he's been on the show 4 of those. Look at this. A weak shot going in, the ball deflecting too sharply, getting into the pocket, almost leaving a 7-10, Tom.
Gang up on the 7-pin, Dave. They swarmed it to knock it down. Let's take another look at that one.
Tim Sharp thinks he throws a good shot, but it arcs too far. Now watch the ball jump to the right. Right here, it deflects sharply, just catching the 5-pin and just knocking down the 7. He was fortunate to have a single pin spare to shoot. He made it.
And he takes it out.
He got it this time.
I don't know if either of you gentlemen were fortunate enough to watch the Fairlanes Open yesterday in the PBA.
I was busy trying to qualify.
What
Well,
happened? It was interesting. Mark Williams, a relative newcomer to the tour, leaving the 2, 8, 10 in the 4th and 6th frame. It was like lightning striking twice. Very slippery lanes down in Baltimore yesterday. As Saccone puts yet another 10 into the pit. Back-to-back strikes. It was just interesting to watch the ball unable to bite in those lanes down there. And I was just wondering how many of those lanes, Dave, that you encountered when you were on the tour that did not have any grip to the ball.
Actually, Tom, I don't know. The lane conditioning sometime is probably your worst enemy if you don't adapt. If you're not capable of making adjustments rapidly, a lane that's very playable could make you look pretty bad sometimes. So it comes back to equipment. Nowadays, the pros carry, you know, a dozen bowling balls, and surely one of those would have been a little more apt than others. But I bowled in that particular establishment myself, and it's a little tough from time to time.
Saccone picks up the 1-2-8 spare. It's interesting. Williams ended up with a 150, not quite indicative of what the touring pros could do. And Wayne Webb, of course, won for his second straight week, a 196. Once again, not really indicative of what he's capable of doing, but nevertheless, the lanes got the best of those two guys.
3 months into the season, and Wayne Webb already taken home $96,000. Not too shabby.
Is there money in professional bowling? You bet there is. And there's money right here, too, Sam, and that's what they're rolling for. Let's take a look at the score.
Technically, Sack's got 153, and Timmy's got 120, so it's a 33-pin spread. That's not too good. Timmy's going to have to go all the way out from here.
4-7-10. Sharp's going to have to make it.
Look at that.
Oh,
What it
I
is.
would say, Dave, that's probably the
about that?
prettiest spare we've seen all year.
That is excellent. Let's take a look at it here if we can.
His faithful rooter would like that, Floyd Randall, I'll tell you.
This is the textbook way to make it. Slide the 6 over into the 7-pin. Is that textbook what? Right there. Cross body block, huh?
Makes you forget those 2 open frames in the 4th and the 5th if you're Tim Sharp. Right here in the 9th frame, as Sam Coleman said, he needs marks the rest of the way, big time, like X's. And the 8 pin just did not go.
Tough break. It's the writing's kind of on the wall at an early stage in this match, but Tim Sharp not giving up. Saccone looking at the score table. Get him a calculator. He's having a little trouble figuring this out, but he is going to be our winner today, barring any unforeseen catastrophes.
Which has happened on several occasions, but Saccone seems to be on top of his game, and here's Sharp taking out the 8-pin for the spare in the 9th. Now, Saccone, assuming he does keep the ball on the lane, will go on to take on Steve Harthon, and then the winner of that one on to meet the 2-time king of bowling, trying to make it 3 straight, and the only man we've seen do that this year has been Ray Tucky Perez. They have to mention his name at least once in the show because of the way he's bowled. Tucky not here this week, but only the 2nd week out of 10 that he has not been here. So Saccone pretty much, Sam, has this one in hand.
Well, you ain't kidding there. Saccone's got 173 in the 8th with a strike up, and Sharp's got 137, so it looks like the race has been run.
Regardless of what either bowler does, it's over.
Oh, and he gets a little break there with the 8-pin rolling across.
You know, there were some words of wisdom laid on me this week, and I think this is a very appropriate time to use them as we watch Saccone really put the salt on the tail of the bird. And that is Messenger saying, get out of here, that it's very unlucky to be behind at the end.
I guess they are words of wisdom, you know. I used to say, as Saccone takes down another 10 pins here in the 10th, I always subscribe to the theory that a lot of times it's better to be the hunter than the hunted.
The hunted, that's right.
Yes, because you could put a lot more intimidation on someone if they hear the old footsteps. But Dave. They are words of wisdom. They definitely match what I just said. Oh, and leaves the 10-pin. A solid 10-pin, Mr. Nurath.
Not a bad game.
The 232 ain't too bad.
Ew. Take that one anytime. Sharp just rolling for the pinfall here. And if you tuned in late, it was a disastrous 4th and 5th frame for Mr. Tim Sharp.
Well, he can fill it out for 189. We have Mr. Gray here from Low Sandoval here.
Sandoval Lanes.
And we have all them Hudy represented here. Ken Rippinger, Bob Casey, and Lee Ritter again this week.
That's right. We have to negotiate a long-term deal on that Ludwig Bach. I've got to talk to them about that.
That's only a seasonal thing, Dave.
Oh, I can't stand it when it's gone.
Really?
I love that stuff, Sam. It's, in my opinion, in my
Humble opinion.
limited opinion, whatever, it's the best product I've tasted, and I've been coast to coast. And believe me, I made it a point to sample
I bet you have,
all
Dave.
the local beers, and their Bach beer is second to none.
There's the 10-pin for Tim Sharp and Sam Coleman and Dave Nurath. Perry Saccone, the winner in game number 1 here in week 10, 232 to 179 over Tim Sharp. And he will go on in game number 2 to meet Steve Harthon as you get a chance to see the winning form of Terry Saccone.